Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Khalil the Highlight Reel Sports Board, both YouTube channel and Facebook page. I'm going to talk about the WWE Crown Jewel results. I will start off with, I'm going to also discuss Magic Johnson admonishing Luke Walton. I'll also be discussing Jim Boy 63, that is soon the cast for racial discrimination. Also about the Breeders' Cup, that is accelerated win the 2018 Breeders' Cup. Also discussing that Novak Djokovic, that is huge victory against Roger Federer. Also going to that and plenty more to come, and also some of the controversial implications, by the way. That's how it's gonna be, guys, and plenty more. I will talk about how Crown Jewel went down, the results. Shinsuke Nakamura retains the U.S. title. Hogan made a shell-shock appearance at Crown Jewel to kick things off. Miz defeats Jeff Hardy. Seth Rollins defeats Bobby Lashley. Dolph Ziggler defeats Kurt Angle. Rey Mysterio, the 619 Rey Mysterio defeats the Fighting Viper, Legend Killer, and Apex Predator Randy Orton. Afterwards, Randy Orton attacks Rey Mysterio. The Bar retained the Smackdown Tag Team Titles. Miz defeats the 619 Rey Mysterio. Dolph Ziggler defeats Seth Rollins. Before this match went down, before the Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman for the vacant Universal Title match, Baron Corbin, or Constable Corbin, blindsides Braun Strowman with the Universal Title belt, and Brock Lesnar, that is, hit a couple of F5s, and one of them was out of the ring. And Brock Lesnar right now is a two-time Universal Champ. You had DX defeat the Brothers of Destruction. And not only that, it was supposed to be The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. However, Miz suffered a sudden knee injury yesterday at Crown Jewel. He wasn't able to compete. So instead, Shane McMahon steps in. He faces Dolph Ziggler. And Shane O'Mac, he walks out as the winner of the WWE World Cup tournament. That is, and he's the best in the world, and he's the GOAT, which he still is, by the way, like he was in the past. And now, SmackDown commish, Shane O'Mac bringing it back. He did so yesterday, I'll tell you that right now. He still got it, he's still the GOAT. He's the best in the world. Say what you want, but Shane O'Mac, you are the GOAT, which is why you, Shane O'Mac, that is Shane McMahon, you just won the WWE World Cup at Crown Jewel, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So, huge congrats to you, Shane O'Mac, for your part. Pretty good right there. Now I'm going to talk about how Survivor Series, I'm talking about the series of matchups are they going to turn out. There are going to be a series of title matches, by the way. And some Raw versus SmackDown Supremacy. You will see Raw Women's Champ, former UFC, you'll see the UFC Women Hall of Famer, and the first woman to be in the Hall of Fame, first woman to be in the Hall of Fame, and the first woman to be a UFC Women's Bantamweight Champ and Raw Women's Champ, that is, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, as she takes on SmackDown Women's Champ Becky Balboa, Becky Lynch. Champion versus champion match. These are 1/4 of WWE's 4 Horsewomen versus UFC's 1/4 of UFC's 4 Horsewomen. Now, I got to tell you right now, you might be seeing what everyone's going to be witnessing. Now, if you thought that last year's Man Classic saw the epic feud between UFC's Four Horsewomen versus WWE's Four Horsewomen, which is a match that a lot of people have wanted to see, I'll tell you right now, come Survivor Series, you'll see Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch, champion versus champion match. That's volume 2 right there. And I can tell you, that's just the start of it. Well, it was last year, but this is like volume 2. This is like WWE versus UFC. You can call it what you want, but the match that I would love to see would have to be WWE's Four Horsewomen versus UFC's Four Horsewomen. This is armbar versus disarmor. Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. Champion versus champion match. That is going to be a good one. I'll tell you that right now. It won't disappoint you. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, Crown Jewel, you saw DX versus Brothers of Destruction. That was a good match too. And that match did not disappoint. I can tell you that. It did not disappoint. I'll tell you that. And it was a really good one too. I'll tell you that right now. It really was. Now back to Survivor Series, that is. Moving on to that. You will see Seth Rollins take on Shinsuke Nakamura in another champion versus champion match. Seth Rollins, the Intercontinental Champ. Shinsuke Nakamura, the U.S. Champ, that is. Champion versus champion match. You'll also see Brock Lesnar, a 2-time Universal Champ, take on AJ Styles, Survivor Series. You'll also be seeing, well, The Bar. They'll be in Survivor Series. They will simply take on, well, the Raw Tag Team Champs, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, that is. Now, Dean Ambrose, he betrayed Seth Rollins, that is. I'll tell you that right now. About 3 weeks ago, that is, if you guys remember that. You know, after Roman Reigns announced he had leukemia for 11 years. Roman Reigns, he's going to beat leukemia, so get well, Roman Reigns. You got this. You're going to Superman punch leukemia. You'll be back as ever, so hang in there, Roman. You got this. Hang in there. So basically, plenty more there, and basically, you'll see Raw versus SmackDown, captains of the men's and women's Raw and SmackDown divisions, and that's how it's all going to turn out. So, brand supremacy, 3 weeks, Survivor Series, all's on the line. All will be on the line. You can count on that, though, guys. You can count on that. So it's gonna be pretty good. Another topic I do want to point out is the fact that Magic Johnson, he admonishes Luke Walton after a slow start. Now, Luke Walton, that is, he admits that he didn't feel like going anywhere, and assures that he has a good relationship with management and with Magic Johnson, that is. I gotta tell you right now, Luke Walton, you might be facing, you might be given a pink slip out the door. And not only that, you might be getting released. So that's not going to be good news right there. Not going to be good. So that's something that many people are wondering about, what's next for Luke Walton, if he's going to get his team back, rebuild his team back, get his team back together, avoid the losses. So hopefully something's going to be done about that. Hopefully the Lakers, they'll make it to the playoffs. Now, LeBron James, the other side, he's ignoring it. He's going to talk about that. Lakers' internal conflicts, so he's not going to get into that and the private thing. So let that all fly by for now. Now, moving on to another topic I do want to, pretty much point out now is the fact that Jim Boylan, 63, he's allegedly suing the cast for racial discrimination after the option was declined for this reason. Cavs say that this is a shame. It's a shameless or useless cash grab, money grab. Former coach Tyronn Lue from last June informed the team was going to a different direction. Lawson claims that Cavs manager Col- Colby Altman, that is, told Jim Boylan that he and Dan Gilbert want a younger coach at a position. Cavs hires new management, that is. So again, Terry Wagner, new assistant, that is, by the name of Terry Wagner, and promoted other younger assistants. So that's something that many people are gonna be curious about. They're not gonna be satisfied about this, and that's something that something's got to be dealt with. And since Tyronn Lue was being released, I mean 0-6, and that's not gonna look good. So you lost to last season in the NBA Finals when you guys Cavs got mauled badly. Killing LeBron James goes with the Lakers, and the fact that lost to me, come on. That's going a little over the edges here. That's not looking good. I'm sorry. Something's got to be done about that. It really needs to be done. Now moving on to another topic that is though. So earlier though, earlier this week, the chairman of the Maryland Board of Regents by the name of James C. Brady, he decided to step away after he announced that the board insisted to bring back Durkin, which is a very bad mistake, that is, and the fact that the board was pressuring Walsall due to McNair's death toll, and the culture of the football program, and the fact that Walsall did not want to did not have not a zip zilch intentions of bringing back Durkin, which is a bad move. That's not good. So now it's that Durkin's been released, which is good news, and that's a good option right there. So no one Durkin's carcass in there. I'll tell you that nobody wanted him around because Maryland can't move on with Durkin. They can't. Now another thing I do want to talk about is this report that it was announced this past week that there's a scuffle between two Maryland football players by the names, and one of the football players who was being down was Matt Barber, who's a senior kicker, that is, says he was maliciously assaulted at practice. Wade Lees, who's a punter, assaulted him. Now, the alleged employee informed the Maryland police officer who was at the practice facility that there was a scuffle that occurred on the practice field, and spoke with both parties. Now, the Maryland police officer also spoke with both parties involved in the witness. Now, both parties got into a disagreement that got a little physical. One of the students was treated by an that was Matt Barber, 21. He was treated to the on-site staff, but he didn't need any treatment at all, no medical attention. Now look, Maryland football. Now this happened. Now the football players. Now half these football players were behind Durkin. That's a no-no. I mean, Matt Barber simply says that some of these supporters who were rallying behind Durkin were throwing footballs right at him, were humiliating him. That's maybe on Durkin's watch. This is before he was released. And Durkin may have been under his watch. Now look, this behavior is unacceptable, and no college should not be living like this. I mean, they gotta change the tone, the attitude. They gotta change. The system needs to be fixed. And this behavior is unacceptable. This happened on a Tuesday, that is. So you're telling me right now that Wallace, look, Durkin was a bad idea. Durkin was a cancer to Maryland football. I'll tell you that right now. He's a cancer. And he still makes lives a living hell. Much like what he did to Matt, much like what those football players who were rallying behind Durkin, which is a no-no that is. They would throw footballs right at him, toss him around. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's unacceptable. Look, the system needs to be fixed. There needs to be new order. There needs to be poetic justice. There needs to be a set of changes and some new changes that need to be made. This behavior cannot be condoned. It can't. It cannot. And they can't be. And they cannot be living like. And that can't happen. Walsall had no intentions of bringing back Durkin. None. So also do the right thing by releasing Durkin. Walsall, he's going to retire by June 2019, but he's still going to be released. They don't. Look, Maryland football, they don't think straight. The student government, the student body, the VPs, the execs, they wanted Durkin gone for good. They don't think straight. Some of the folks in Maryland football, they don't think straight. The staff, the medical staff, they didn't give Durkin, they didn't give him the proper treatment. They didn't do that, and that's what led to his death toll. That is, it's ridiculous. That's uncalled for. So Maryland gets their acts together and tries to at least stay focused. All right, because they're not in the playoffs, and they're certainly not going, and they certainly need to get their acts together because this is ridiculous. And they may have lost to Michigan State, though. So, really, they're not. So, Maryland, they're not doing too well. They're not worth anything. I'm sorry. Not worth anything to anybody. I'll tell you that right now. They get their acts together and focus on important things. Kill this happen. They cannot let this happen. They can't get this out of the way, have this dissolve, and just, for goodness sakes, not get caught off guard. Can't get caught off guard. You just can't let this happen. You cannot. Now moving on to another topic, though. Just got breaking news. Just recently, Cardinals benched quarterback and draft pick Sam Bradford was released. Now, the Cardinals, they have not done so well. They're not going to the NFC playoffs. But Sam Bradford being released, come on. I mean, Sam Bradford does pretty good, I'll tell you that. But why would you want to release him? The question I have for you is, what is next for Sam Bradford? Where does he go from here? And where exactly is he going to get traded? Well, he's on the waivers. Well, he's going to be cleared of waivers, though. Where he's going to go from there? If you're Sam Bradford, what is going through your mind right now? Are you going to get traded? Are you going to... I don't know what you're going to do. But you got to do something. Maybe replace Eli Manning, for goodness sakes. Because G-Man, they're not doing too good. And I'm telling you right now that that Sam Bradford, I don't know why they released him, but that's not doing too good. That's not a good thing, right? That's a bad move. So not satisfied with that. I'll tell you that right now. Moving to another topic that is I want to address is the fact that Jimmy Butler last night that was waving his towel with those no good Warriors fans. Now look, Jimmy Butler is not going anywhere. Is not going to get traded with the Warriors. That is not going to happen. It's not. So there's no look. I'm sorry though. There's no indication of Jimmy Butler being traded. That's not going to happen. I'll tell you that right now. It's not. Jimmy Butler waving his towel with Warriors fans. He doesn't play. He's not playing with those no good Warriors. No. And he's not going. And he has zero intentions of getting traded to the Warriors too. That's a big no-no right there. That's a no-no. So I don't understand Why Jimmy Butler was waving his own towel with Warriors fans? Or, come on, you're not traded to the Warriors. You're not going to get traded either. And there's no spec, and people are not, and there's no implication of Jimmy Butler being traded, even though he insisted to be traded, even though he didn't. Jimmy Butler doesn't know where his mind's at. I mean, this past week, he wants to rest his body because his body was hurting. And yesterday, and then last night, he was waving his towel with Warriors fans when he sat down. He doesn't play there. He's not playing with those no good Warriors. He won't do it. So Jimmy Butler, I advise you to not join those sick Warriors, and don't be waving your towels with the Warriors fans. Come on, that's no. That's uncalled for. That's something you don't do. You can't do it. Just don't do it. Please don't do it. Now moving on to another topic I want to address is the fact that J.R. Smith says he intends to be traded from the Cavs. Now, J.R. Smith could possibly be fined for saying that he intends to be traded for sure, that he wants out. And, Suns going to Aaron Bledsoe. He was fined $10K despite the fact that he wanted out. J.R. Smith may suffer the same fate. He may do so. So really, what are you gonna say about that? What are you gonna say for J.R. Smith? And I ain't gonna come back from that. I ain't gonna come back from it, really. So you know what's gonna happen next. You don't know what you're gonna do. So that's something you probably aren't gonna know about. And hope J.R. Smith, he may want out. J.R. Smith could possibly want out, I'll tell you that. Because Cavs aren't doing so good, and they may gotta win, but you'll get traded when you do so, but you may regret getting traded. I'll tell you that, by being fined, that is. So that's something you don't want to do right there. So if you want to get traded, do so. You could be with the Lakers, you could be with the Celtics, you could be with maybe the Thunder, you could be with Pacers, Rockets. Well, next. Oh, it's easy to play with next though. You can play with maybe I don't know, maybe Nuggets perhaps. Who knows? Pacers, who knows? Or the Wolves, who knows? Who knows where you're gonna go? So there's speculation of J.R. Smith being traded though, but even though he insisted on being traded, he may get fined for sure. So that's the biggest regret he's ever gonna make right there. So hoping it's something that can try to get that all straightened out for sure. Now another thing I want to talk about is the fact that the Breeders' Cup Accelerate wins the 2018 Breeders' Cup. That's pretty good. Another topic though, Simone Biles wins 6 titles in gymnastics, women's gymnastics. Pretty good. Amazing job. With the kidney stone, that is, when battling a kidney stone. So, Simone Biles, get well. You got this. I know you're the GOAT, which you are, by the way. But I know you're a fighter. Then you got where you are. You are the GOAT, greatest of all time, which you are. Change your career, change your life, though. 6 gold medals. Good job. Swell job. Splendid job right there. That's what we're doing. Points the fact that Novak Djokovic has beaten Roger Federer in the Paris Masters semis that lasted 3 hours. So that was an instant classic right there. So Novak Djokovic, he did win. Beat Roger Federer in the Paris Masters semis. He's going on to the finals round, that is. So pretty good right there. So congrats, and you don't know how to get where you are. So it's pretty good right there. Hopefully you get something done. Now I want to talk about how the college football playoffs are going to go. So college football is how going to go down, that is. Another topic I want to point out is the fact that Clemson destroys Louisville. They're 9-0 right now. They're 9-0. They can't be stopped. Then you got Georgia taking down Kentucky. You had Michigan putting a beating on Penn State. You also had, Michigan State. They took down Maryland. Your Texas West Virginia game going on. You also had, the Notre Dame Northwestern game. That's going on right now. And you also got Ohio State. They beat Nebraska. Wisconsin beats the Rutgers. The Virginia Tech and Boston College game go on. And then for tonight, later tonight, that is. Now, whoever wins the SEC West, that is, whether Bama or LSU, I got Bama. Bama, they're going to move on to the SEC West, and they're going to advance. But the college football playoff rankings are going to change on Tuesday. I'll tell you that right now, which they will come Tuesday. So check that out for yourselves. And I know for sure that Bama, they're going to own Clemson. I'm sorry, Bama, they're going to own LSU. So you may think that LSU is going to get the job done by breaking Bama's streak. Now, Nick Saban said that he and Bama hopefully get elected to open a can of butt whooping, which they will in a couple of hours. That is. So I got Bama beating LSU. And they're going to be tied to Clemson, and Bama's going to be 9-0. So that's who I got right there. Yep. Bama's going to LSU, and it's going to be that good. It's a classic rivalry, and I'm looking forward to Bama beating LSU. So it's going to be a good match. They beat each other time and time again, but Bama, they're going to be top seed, so won't be stopped. So you never know how it's going to turn out. So tune in to CBS for Bama LSU. Must see, must watch. If Bama wins, they're going to be 9-0. They're going to the SEC West. I do look forward to that. And I hope Bama tries to beat LSU, which they will. So I'm looking forward to that matchup, and it's going to be incredible. So that's going to do it right there for the Khalil the High-Level Sports Report YouTube channel and Facebook page. Please be sure you subscribe to the Khalil the High-Level Sports Report, both YouTube channel and Facebook page. Please be sure you send me your comments, your tweets, your reactions, your results about WWE Crown Jewel, what you thought about it. Your tweets, your responses, your replies, your results down below. Tell me what you think of Sam Bradford being released by the Cardinals. Tell me what you also think of Magic Johnson admonishing Luke Walton. Tell me what you think. Some of your comments, with your reactions about Novak Djokovic taking down Roger Federer, that is, in the Paris Masters semis, lasting 3 hours. That is. Tell me what you think of Clemson putting a beating on Louisville. What you think of Georgia beating Kentucky. What do you think of Michigan beating Penn State? What you also think of, let's see, I think Texas and West Virginia game, how that went down. Tell me what you also think how Bama is going to beat LSU. Send me your comments, your tweets, your reaction, results about that. I'll be more than happy to respond. And now I got the question for each and every one of you is, will Bama be 9-0 and make it to the SEC West? Or will LSU give Bama their first consecutive loss of this season? Because Bama's got a good offensive defense, I'll tell you that right now. And LSU, well, epic rival. But LSU, they can't get the job done. They're not going to hold home field advantage. They won't do that, no. So I got Bama beating LSU, which they will. So that's how it's going to be. Well, let's go do right there. Hopefully I hear from you guys, and I'll be back with more live announcements, more breaking news, trending topics, live updates, and I'll keep you up posted as soon as possible, all pertaining to the sports world. And it's going to be must see, must watch, so I'll get you on tune right there. So it's going to be pretty good. So take care, you guys. You guys have a good evening. Bye-bye. Enjoy the Bama LSU game, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.